5 seconds remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are ready to see some incredibly hype games, because we yesterday found out that Archon was going to advance to be the first team to represent the Americas region in Shanghai for the major. But we've got one spot left, and that one spot is going to be determined over 2 best-of-3s. First, we're going to have Shazam going up against compLexity. The winner of that will move on to play Digital Chaos in our final best-of-3. And the winner of that will get that coveted spot, that final spot to go and represent the Americas region in Shanghai.
Remaining.
And get one step closer to
Reserve time.
to Dota glory with potentially taking that. But first they need to win a best-of-3. And then they'll need to win another. Unless you're Digital Chaos, then you're a little bit further along, but either way, we know we're going to have some pretty damn hype games, so let's just hop on into it. First of all, guys, I'm Niz. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Thanks for stopping and checking it out and enjoying this game with me, because I really feel like it's going to be a good one. So let's just hop in. We've got Dire. On the Dire side, it's going to be compLexity. Shazam's going to be taking up our Radiant side. The opening bans, we've got Enchantress and Abaddon banned out by compLexity. Wisp and Bane were the bans for Shazam. Of course, we saw compLexity play a ton of Bane in the games that we cast. Hanskin was playing that nearly every single game. I think maybe there was 1, maybe 2 games at most that he didn't play that hero. But they're going to have to put him on something different this game, because that Bane was banned out in the opening phase. But our opening picks were Invoker and Ancient Apparition for compLexity. Maybe that's going to be the Hanskin hero. We've got Shazam picking up the Death Prophet and the Lone Druid. Exciting picks already coming up from Brax and the boys and Shazam. On to our next set of bans. We had Undying and Chen banned out by compLexity. Void and Beastmaster were the bans for Shazam. And now we have a pick from compLexity, and that's going to be a Slardar. And that got us caught back up as Shazam just starts ticking into the reserve time, leading into their third pick. As for our lane so far, we've seen Lone Druid a few times. We saw Jo play it, do an incredible job playing that hero in one of the matches we cast, and then of course in the final, Archon versus Digital Chaos in our winner bracket finals. Jo once again played that, and they took that win with that Lone Druid on Jo once again. And if you guys missed it, go find it. I can link it to you maybe after this game if you remind me. But go and find the clip of the reactions from Archon immediately following their win and their trip to Shanghai. And if you ever think that maybe this doesn't mean that much to these guys, you're wrong. Like, they were so happy to have won, and the fact that they were going to be going to Shanghai and going to represent this region. It's just awesome to watch. It's awesome to see that passion. It's awesome to see just how much these players care about it. And it's definitely more than just a game to these guys, and it's just awesome. But we'll get back into this, because we've got that Lone Druid, which, as I said, Jo was playing for Archon, but he was playing it mainly in the safe role. We didn't actually see them put it anywhere else for the most part. We're kind of used to seeing in days of past Lone Druid be playing in the off lane, to some extent even being played in the mid lane. So we'll have to see where Shazam plans on putting that. With the Death Prophet on their side, we expect that to go mid. So maybe it is going to be a safe lane Lone Druid, but it could be off lane. As they add on a Witch Doctor. We actually don't know. There's been a little bit of flexibility with how teams choose to run the Witch Doctor. Some teams used to like to place it as their more aggressive of the 2 supports, and then pick up something a little bit more defensive as their position 5. Whereas other teams will actually say, you know what, Witch Doctors are our position 5, and we'll go with something even more greedy. Not sure if that's going to be the path that Shazam may choose to take with a Lone Druid on their side, but we'll have to see. As for compLexity, they just picked up a Lich. That's going to be their defensive support. Ancient Apparition is going to be the more aggressive of the 2, although in the early phases of the game, we actually expect the Lich to be doing more of the offensive role, maybe even duo offlane with that Slardar. And the Ancient Apparition is more of a stay-home, kind of protecting the safe lane hero.
Complexity's
But as we
turn to
transition
ban.
out of that laning phase, we expect the Ancient Apparition to get a larger priority of the farm from Complexity. We typically see Ancient Apparitions pick up a Midas, then go into an Aghanim Scepter. Whereas the Lich, he's going to be moving around doing more Ice Armory stuff and
remaining.
constantly sacrificing creeps and getting a little bit of gold here and there, doing primarily
5
the warding
seconds remaining.
and maybe building up towards a mech, but we'll have to see whether he's going to be the mech carrier for the
Reserve
team or if they
time.
even choose to go for a mech. Of course, the Invoker we expect to see in the mid lane, but sometimes we see them
Radiant
teams
team
adapt and rotate that Invoker out of the mid lane if they don't like the mid matchup. But this will be going up against Death Prophet, so I think they'll be alright with that. Shazam, just with their 4th pick, picked up the Bat Rider, which is interesting. If Complexity goes with the lanes that I
10
initially
seconds remaining.
predicted with that Slardar Lich off lane and the Ancient Apparition staying at
5
home
seconds
with the
remaining.
carry, Bat Rider's going to do quite well against an Ancient Apparition. And he's going to get a
Complexity's
lot in that
turn to
off
pick.
lane. So Complexity may choose to mix up their lanes a little bit, or may just have to accept the fact that that Bat Rider is going to have a very good laning phase. As for our final 2 bans, Oracle was the ban for Complexity, and Gyrocopter the ban for Shazam. So obviously Complexity banning out a strong defensive support that Shazam may want to pick up. As I already said, that the Witch Doctor is probably
10
going to be the
seconds
more
remaining.
offensive of the 2, with the fact that they've got a Lone Druid and a little bit of a more greedy team.
seconds
Although
remaining.
Bat Rider Bat Rider likes his farm early, but at the same time he likes to go out
Resolve
and get
time.
stuff done. He's not going to sit there and farm all day like maybe a Lone Druid will do. So we expect a much more defensive of support. And we already had Abaddon removed from the pool. We've already had the Oracle removed from the pool. And then to some extent, you know, we've even had the Bane removed and then the Wisp and all that stuff. But I don't think that would have even been a viable pick at this point anyways. As for the Gyrocopter ban coming up from Shazam, I'm really surprised by that, and I'm not surprised by the fact that they banned Gyrocopter and don't want Complexity to have Gyrocopter, but I'm surprised that Gyrocopter made it all the way to the 5th set of bans. Because, I mean, we've seen Gyrocopter go from first ban material, first pick material, sliding down the order some games, and then immediately jumping back up to that high priority.
10 seconds
And then all of a
remaining.
sudden we see it making its way all the way down to 5th ban. That's really
5
surprising, and it's
seconds
also even more surprising the fact that this is up against Complexity. Complexity love running that
Radiant
hero.
team pick.
Limp does an incredible job playing that hero in the mid lane. Of course, Complexity did open up with the Invoker, so we expected that to go mid lane, which kind of reduced the priority on banning something like a Gyrocopter. But the final pick is in for Complexity. That's going to be a Vengeful Spirit. So they've gone with a core Vengeful Spirit.
10 seconds remaining.
As we've seen a lot of
5
teams kind of
seconds
experimenting with this core Vengeful Spirit. Some of those strategies kind of falling flat on their face.
Reserve
Other ones
time.
seeming to do quite well.
5 seconds remaining.
But where the Vengeful Spirit kind of falls flat is as you get later and later into the game and you're going up against something like a Lone Druid, you're going to be in trouble. But we'll see if Complexity will be able to dominate that game early on. And keep the snowball rolling with the Vengeful Spirit. But we've got an Earth Spirit picked up by Shazam. As this is another one of those heroes kind of off and on. Whether he's picked up or just kind of forgotten. That's going to round up the lineup for Shazam. So we just wait for the players to select their heroes and we get ready to start game 1. The hype is building. The hype is
10
building.
seconds remaining.
Whereas both teams really taking their time here
5
to
seconds remaining.
figure out their game plan. I wouldn't be surprised if we even see a pause here to start off. But no, it's not going to happen. We're going to have game 1 starting up. Sunstrike's going to come out immediately, spot them
Prepare
out, just
for
doing a little
battle.
harass damage.
Set in stone.
But here we go. Let's introduce our teams and our players. As we've got on the Radiant side, Shazam. And SVG is going to be playing their Witch Doctor. MSS is going to be playing the Earth Spirit. Blessed is going to be on the Lone Druid. HFN is going to be playing the Death Prophet, and Brax is going to be playing the Batrider. As for our dire side, it's Team compLexity. We got to cast a bunch of their games. In fact, I don't even think we cast a single game of Shazam this whole tournament. But we have casted a decent amount of compLexity, so let's get into their lineup. As we've got Swindlemelons is going to be playing the Slardar, Limp is going to be on the Vengeful Spirit, Chessie is going to be on the Invoker, Z-Freak is going to be on the Lich, and
30
Handskin
seconds
is
to
going to be
battle.
playing the Ancient Apparition. As for our starting items, we do have Boots first on Brax, but beyond that, nothing. Not that Boots first is even surprising, but nothing really standing out. We do have a set of sentries picked up by Handskin, so compLexity will have that on their side. We've got some potential action in the bottom as Shazam getting in prime position to pick up this bottom rune, getting that for their Death
battle
Prophet.
begins.
And compLexity already has control of the top rune, getting that for their Invoker. So both mid laners getting their bounty runes, and we're off to a pretty standard start to start this game off. Once again, guys, if you're new here, I'm Niz. Welcome to the channel. As this is the start of a best of 3 between Shazam and compLexity. We are in losers bracket round 1 of the Americas qualifiers to go to the Shanghai Major, and you win this, you move on, and you play Digital Chaos in another best of 3. Winner of that takes the final spot to represent the region for the Americas, for the Shanghai Major. So that's where we stand. Let's take a quick look at our lane. It is going to be the Slardar Lich in the duo off lane, going up against the Lone Druid and the Witch Doctor. Mid lane is going to be the Death Prophet going up against the Invoker. And maybe we're going to see MSS be a little bit of a nuisance in the mid lane on that Earth Spirit, constantly roaming around, putting some pressure on Chessie early. As for our top lane, it's going to be the Vengeful Spirit and the Ancient Apparition, who's doing a little bit of stacking right now, going up against the Batrider. Now we're going to see both the supports kind of make their way back to the top as Brax is in trouble, but MSS is going to be coming in as well. Maybe he's going to be able to help Brax out as Limp and Handskin taking some good damage from the Firefly. As I think we're going to see our first blood here. It's going to be Brax. No, it's not. It's Limp who goes down first. Brax will fall. Handskin's going to fall as well. As Shazam gets 2 kills to start this game off. They do lose their offlaner, but catching compLexity off guard with that rotation from MSS. As they knew that he was above mid, they just didn't know whether he was coming up top or if he was still going to sit there and try to camp Chessie in the mid lane. But they know now, as they lose those 2 heroes, and that was looking very, very close to compLexity getting that first blood. But not the case. As they lose their core Vengeful Spirit and then their Ancient Apparition soon after.
What have we here?
Most of the games we've seen from compLexity, they've dominated the early laning phase, gotten a good lead, and set them up just coming out of the draft to get some good CS and get some good gold on their heroes early on in the game. And then they've played this real snowball-y style of game where they just said, okay, well, we won our lanes, we're stronger than you, but we're just going to start taking towers and we're going to just keep the ball rolling. And just keep taking towers, keep taking map control, and keep getting gold on the back of it, and you're just going to feel strangled. And you're going to run out of gold, or not have enough gold, and you're not going to have enough XP to really keep pace with us. As for this game and how it's starting off, it's a little less dominant for compLexity. In fact, we're seeing Shazam win most of the lanes early on, or at least with the last hits. As Chessie always losing a lot of damage. Here's the wave will come in from HFN, but not gonna reach and hit Chessie. If it did, it would have been a kill there for the Death Prophet. But so far, this Death Prophet is winning in the mid lane. HFN sitting at 17 and 8 CS, whereas Chessie, he's a little bit behind at 10 and 1. We compare the safe lane farmers. It's Blessed on the Lone Druid who's winning so far. He's sitting at 13 and 3 compared to the 9 and 5 from the Vengeful Spirit. And then the offlaners, we've got a 5 and 0 Brax on the Batrider, which is being beaten by Swindlemelons on the Slardar, who's sitting at 9 and 6. But the Slardar is being kind of babysat and sitting in more of a duo lane, so in a 2v2 lane, whereas the Batrider is doing a more solo job up in the top. as Earth Spirit still continuing to do a lot more of that roaming around stuff. As you see him smoked up right now, once again looking to keep pressure on Chessie. They really want to make sure that this Invoker has a really hard early laning phase.
I'll take that.
And he's spending the game catching up more so than running around dominating and controlling. He has gone 1-1-2. So 2 points in Exort. As we didn't actually see it there, but HFN actually gave his bottle to MSS so that he could bottle up the rune and then activate it. So we've got MSS actually in Viz here. He passed the bottle back to HFN. And this is, well, we're going to have a pause here coming out from HFN as they're going to get some packet loss or I don't even know how to begin to pronounce that. But they're going to have some packet loss, so we're going to pause it up here. And what's interesting here is that Chessie doesn't have vision of either of the runes. This is a Radiant Observer Ward that's spotting the bottom rune, and then the top rune is also scouted out by a Radiant Observer Ward. So compLexity doesn't have vision of the runes, and he's now seeing HFN return to lane after going top with a full bottle. So he could very well expect that top rune was a bounty rune, and HFN has already taken it. If you're looking at actually min-maxing, he probably shouldn't have popped the bounty rune until he actually needs to take a sip of his bottle. But that's just very slight min-maxing. Either way, Chessie may not know that MSS has taken that rune. And is sitting in Viz. In fact, he's not going to know that that Invis was the top rune. Now he's going to get an Observer Ward. He's going to place it in the mid lane. It's going to give him vision across the river, which is going to help protect him against these Earth Spirit ganks. And we're actually seeing the Earth Spirit roam away from mid as he's going to start heading up towards the top lane. And again, try to disrupt this Vengeful Spirit. There's ping coming out from the Bat Rider saying that maybe they're thinking about going and pulling, but no, they were leading Brax along there as they were waiting for him to come and contest the pull, but he doesn't. And now once again, Limp and Hanskin trying to go on the aggressive here, but they don't know that MSS is so close by.
Denied!
As we're waiting for potential action here in the top lane, but we did just have Z-Freak TP to the mid because HFN has popped the Exorcism and started putting some pressure on this mid tier 1 tower. So they need the Lich up there to protect the tier 1 as Brax getting kind of low, but once again, here comes MSS. He's going to kick the rock onto Hanskin, just stunning him up briefly, but there's no way that Shazam's going to be able to go in for this, as they're going to have to back away. So the bottom lane, Swindles is in a little bit deep. He's lost about half of his HP, but there comes Z-Freak coming on in, giving a healing salve to his brother, healing himself back up. And so far the lanes have kind of evened out a little bit, or at least the bottom lane has. The Swindlemelon's sitting at 27 and 13, whereas Blessed is at 27 CS as well, as the Sunstrike's going to come in and they're going to zap down that Lone Druid. So again, compLexity looking a little bit better in this bottom lane, as the Slaughters found a way to rebound and catch back up, but now they find a very important pickoff. As for the mid lane, Death Prophet continues to dominate there. As we got 41 and 19 CS, already doubling the CS from Chessie, who's sitting at 20 and 2. Top lane, Brax. He's sitting at 16 and 1. Whereas Limp, which we expect to be a lot higher, is at 31 and 10. So he's actually just slightly beaten out the Lone Druid when you compare the two safe laners, and obviously when you compare those two off laners. With Swindlemelons winning out in the bottom lane, he's definitely going to be quite a bit ahead of Brax.
All things fall.
So we do have a decent trade here, as the off laner from compLexity is going to be getting a lot more. However, their mid laner is losing. So in the end, it's probably pretty even. Z-Freak making his way out of the jungle. I didn't actually see him stack anything, and it doesn't look like he did. Now he's going to go and try to camp the top rune. It's going to be a regen. Here's Brax farming up a small stack that he's made here. This addition of this new camp for the offlaners is absolutely gigantic for heroes like Batrider and Darkseer, heroes that can jungle easily, that typically are played in the offlane, and it really allows them to get their gold early, as we're going to see a Batrider already sitting at 1700 gold, already with the Tranquils completed. Expect that Blink Dagger to probably be up just past the 10-minute mark, assuming Brax doesn't die. As Chessie's going to get drained a little bit here by HFN.
Radiant's top tower
Z-Freak
is under
rotates in
attack.
from the bottom rune. There was no backup behind HFN, so it wasn't feeling like diving there.
Structures
As
are
they're actually going to use a glyph here. As the tower dropping down to 115 HP. An exorcism available on HFN, and now they're going to try to deny it. And they will be able to. HFN not
Dire's
able to get the right
middle
click
tower
off
has
there.
been denied.
And get the last hit on the tower. MSS and Blessed did come in as I say hi to a few of you in chat. I read that feedback, and I'm trying to adjust to it for you. But also hello to Corrupted Drop Bear. This guy, I know I've said it earlier. I think it was actually in the open qualifiers, but Corrupted Drop Bear did a great job of organizing the other casters, so that a bunch of the games in the open qualifiers were casted, so that everyone could find the games that they were looking to watch. And he was in charge of that at Dota 2 qualifiers Twitter, which was absolutely fantastic. We've got action here in the top lane. I'd like to keep praising Corrupted Drop Bear's work, but we do have a game here. As Shazam was looking to maybe go for a gank in the top lane on Limp, but Z-Freak's also rotated up here, so it would be a 3v3, and in fact, it would be a 2v3, as HFN rotated away from the top, but it's just to pick up a double damage rune as he moves back up. And that's got to give them a pretty large advantage with that double damage, but also the potential of popping that exorcism as HFN actually going to TP back to the mid lane where Bless was already farming. So a little bit surprised by that. Surprised he didn't go down to the bottom where Swindle Mullins has been diving past the tower, but they've got TP response coming in from elsewhere. Sunstrike will land as Chessie sniped SVG, so it actually will end in a trade. A 1-for-1, but advantage going to go the way of Shazam as they get the kill on that Slardar that was already starting to get a little bit out of control for them. As somehow Swindle Mullins, I don't know how he does it, he seems to do it almost every game as the offlaner, somehow getting the highest last hits, as he's now up to 58 and 22. Impressive stuff coming up from Swindle Mullins, as we expect him to get his Blink Dagger up pretty soon, sitting at 1500 gold, obviously being set back a little bit by that death that we just saw in the bottom lane. Mentioning Brax being able to pick up his Blink Dagger just past the 10-minute mark. He's already up to 2500 gold, so he's got enough. And he's going to buy it right now, as we're also going to have Limp pick up drums. So starting to tank up a little bit on that Vengeful Spirit. Looks like HFN's going to be going after a Yule Scepter as he's got his Void Stone. What about the Lone Druid? We've got the Tranquil Boots. Got the Gloves of Haste. Maybe going for a Midas. So we typically see Phase Boots getting picked up on the Spirit Bear. And then maybe we'll see him work towards a Radiance. As Brax, he's just picked up that Blink Dagger. He's going to blink on in. He was smoked up for this, but not able to get close enough to get a lasso off onto Handskin, who will toss an Ice Blast to the mid lane, where HFN looks like he's getting ganked. And the Ice Blast definitely on the mark, but that Death Prophet already dead,
top tower is
so
under attack.
not needed. As we're going to have that push up in the top lane
Radiant's
coming up from
bottom tower
Shazam.
is under
compLexity is going to
attack.
counter with a push in the bottom.
Radiant structures
Top tier
are
1 tower
fortified.
actually already falls. The bear pushes pretty damn fast with, what's it called? Demolisher? There's even Demolish, there we go. On the bear that allows that bear to do extra damage to structures.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And looks like we will eventually see this tier 1 tower go down, as compLexity have 4 heroes down
Radiant's
here, and
bottom
Shazam,
tower has fallen.
although they'd like to defend it, they are
Radiant's
nowhere
middle
near in
tower is
position,
under
and we already
attack.
realized that was going to be a trade some time ago. But here we go. Swindle Mullins has just picked up his Blink Dagger from the side shop. Are they going to try to jump in onto Shazam here? Is it going to go the other way? Is Brax going to jump in? He's actually going to get a lasso off on his Z-Freak as the Lich is going to go down. And I don't think compLexity is going to want to fight here, as they're going to try to chase down Chessie. Swindlemelon's thinking of coming in from the side, just getting an amp damage off as Chessie will drop the Sunstrike. Doesn't actually hit on Brax, getting him quite low, getting him that low, but Chessie will drop into the Ghost Walk, but the wave is there coming out from HFN. As Shazam finds her second kill, but here comes Swindlemelons. He jumps in, gets a double crush, as they then kill Brax and that Bat Rider. Will they get another kill? As SVG looks like he's going to be in trouble, and indeed he will. So they're going to even it up. 2 kills to each. As Swindlemelons, maybe he's not done. He wants to go on HFN here. He will get that extra crush off. But now MSS and Bless coming in from the side. But MSS actually going to roll forward. Limp's going to swap HFN back, as they will be able to kill him with the Chain Frost. There's a lot of damage coming out here from MSS, as the Ebola Spirit continues to do work. But we saw many heroes get low on compLexity, but none actually go down, and this fight's still not over as Swindlemelons jumped in. They want the kill on MSS, and maybe this might have been a little adventurous, as now Swindles is going to have to desperately run for his life. He will get the crush off onto Brax. Sunstrike will land, but not on a target that's actually going to net them a kill. Swindles will be able to blink away soon after Brax got his blink off, as he was still a little bit too far away to deal any damage to Swindlemelons and prevent his blink. But now we've had a lot of action. We've definitely left the laning phase. Let's take a look at our net worth, and it's actually Chessie #1. So he's sitting at 3-1-1 right now. Part of that is going to be thanks to his Midas, and he's almost got the Yule Scepter finish as well, but he's sitting at 6,100 net worth. His HFN, how did he get in this position? I'm guessing he got swapped by Limp, and yet just freshly off cooldown. So I apologize that I missed the engage there, but we did catch the kill. So no need to spam T-Tours in chat for you guys. The Swindles is going to get caught. Why a lasso from Brax? His teammates are going to be coming in to try to help him, but he's going to go down. They will get the kill on SVG. Will they find another? Doesn't look like it. Is MSS going to be able to roll away? As compLexity will regroup and back away and TP up to the top lane, where Blessed has been split pushing on that Lone Druid. He's up to 1,400 gold. Did he Okay, he went phase boot, still just holding on to those gloves of hate. Still could be a Midas. He's approaching the amount of gold that he would need to purchase the recipe. However, he may just choose to forego that and go straight into picking up the relic and then eventually completing the Radiance. As we have the Yule Scepter completed by Chessie. What about this core Vengeful Spirit? Sitting at 1,500 gold. Haven't seen anything picked up since the drums were completed. Z-Freak just has his Tranquils up to 700 gold, so he's looking good on top of his typical warding duty. And Hanskin has picked up the Urn. We've seen a couple AA players actually pick up the Urn and then not go for the Midas and just go straight into the Aghanim Scepter, maybe not liking the fact that when you pick up that Urn, it sets you back from your timing of the Midas. But we'll see if Hanskin chooses to go after a similar route. As they're smoked up moving into the Radiant Jungle here, they may find HFN. SVG's nearby as well as MSS, but they're going to get a great initiation here onto the Death Prophet. And that is a quick kill for compLexity as they find their 10th kill of the game, putting them 4 above Shazam. What about Swindlemelons? He's up another 500 gold since picking up his blink. Because now they're going to go for a Roche. And with that pick off on the Death Prophet, there's no way that Shazam's going to be able to contest here. Especially with how fast compLexity can kill Roche thanks to that amplified damage from the Slaughter. The Roche goes down. Aegis will go to Chessie.
Is under attack.
As we start cycling through Shazam and see the progression that they've made towards some items. We've got the Blink on Brax, almost done the Force Staff. So he's going to be able to not only blink in, get a lasso off, but also Force Staff himself back towards his teammates, further pulling that compLexity hero out of position. As it has indeed been a Midas completed by Blessed, as now he'll probably start working towards the Radiance. SVG's a little bit poorer than some of the other supports in the game, as he's just got his brown boots and a magic wand, hasn't really upgraded his boots or made any other real progression towards anything. compLexity again threatening that mid-tier 1. MSS and HFN hiding a little bit behind it. Is MSS actually looking pretty good so far? Arcanes, Urn, Iron Talon, Orb of Venom. He's got a good solid foundation as HFN still still hasn't completed
Radiant's
his
middle
Yule
tower
Scepter.
is under attack.
That is very crucial for a
Dire's
Death
top
Prophet.
tower is under attack.
As
Radiant
Swindle's going to
structures
jump
are
on that Death Prophet in the bottom lane. His Sunstrike on the mark again.
I came.
Radiant's
That Yule
middle
Scepter.
tower
Basically,
has
when
fallen.
the Death Prophet pops for Exorcism, you have to do one of two things. You either run away and get out of the fight, and then re-engage as Exorcism's going down, or you've got to jump in and blow up the Death Prophet and kill her off so that the Exorcism ends and it's not doing the ridiculous amount of damage that it does in the team fight. Great way to
Radiant's
prevent
bottom
that is,
tower is under
as soon
attack.
as they go on you as the Death Prophet, you just Yules yourself up in the air and then they're not able to do anything for 2.5 seconds. And your teammates are able to get in better position, and compLexity is going to have to then back away and figure out how they're going to take the next fight. As Swindles jumps forward, we'll get the crush off, but it's
Radiant's
just going to be
bottom
on the
tower
bear.
is under attack.
Unfortunately, not even getting a right click off for the chance at the bash, 10% chance. There's Limp actually going to rotate in. He's going to find SVG, and that's going to be a kill for them, but Brax and MSS are here as well. Lasso's going to get used as they pull the Vengeful Spirit back, but they're not going to be able to get the kill. Limp is actually pretty damn tanky on that hero. Swindles jumps on in. He does get one bash proc on MSS. Meatball coming in from Chessie as Z-Freak will also throw the Chain Frost. As 3 kills go the way of compLexity, 14-6 now. As Hanskin, what are you doing here? He's looking over mid. He didn't get here by placing a ward or anything. He's just standing there. I don't. Maybe they're gonna try to TP to the mid and try to set something up, and he's gonna throw an Ice Blast from behind. But there is this Observer ward from Shazam that is scouting out his position. On the back of that fight and those kills, we had a Blink Dagger picked up by Chessie,
Radiant's top tower
and now
is under
Swindlemelon's
attack.
going to pick up a hand of Midas.
Radiant structures are
Lexi
fortified.
looks to push this tier 1 tower. It is pretty healthy, and I was wondering if Shazam was actually going to come up here and defend. They're going to send Brax. See TPs to the tier 2, but it's just him. So compLexity will get the last hit on the
Radiant's
tower
top
there. The
tower
Forge
has
Spirit
fallen.
actually getting the last hit. And more gold going the way of compLexity as once again it wasn't really looking so dominant in the early laning phase, but as we got towards the end, somehow Swindlemelons finds that gold and puts himself in a prime position and also strengthens their other lanes. Chessie was a little bit behind, but by the time it got to, what was it, 11, 12, 13 minute marks, Chessie was on top in terms of net worth, so they found a way to make it work. And now they start taking down those towers and start getting that map control. Is now they're going to continue that with a smoke up, and they're going to run right into Shazam, but it's all a Shazam. We're going to have a full 5-man fight here as Brax is the initial target from compLexity, but they're not going to be able to kill him. Chessie's going to find a kill on SVG as he's now in trouble, as MSS doing a lot of damage to him. Chessie will Yules himself up in the air to try and prevent his death for a little bit longer, but he will go down. Aegis will get him back up. As Shazam will disengage, having just lost those 2 heroes. Somehow Brax managed to get out of there without losing his life, as the neutral's trying to maybe kill him there. But he'll TP back. But with
Radiant's
compLexity
top
engaging
tower
on
is
that
under
Bat Rider,
attack.
that meant that the Bat wasn't able to lasso someone and pull them out of position, as we didn't even see Brax use the lasso. He was primarily just immediately goes into defensive mode. It says, what the heck do I do here to not die? And he managed to get that done, but unfortunately not able to really help out his
Radiant's
team in the
top
fight
tower is under
as a
attack.
result of his very low HP. Let's keep our eyes on this lone druid sitting at
Radiant's top
2,500
tower
gold
has
as this
fallen.
top tier 2 tower will go down. Limp hunting with his Shadow Blade. We'll get a stun up on MSS. Sunstrike is there. And the Earth Spirit is there no longer. Ice Blast flying in. That was originally for the Earth Spirit, as they were looking to try and find Bless, but not able to find him. So he's getting closer and closer to that relic.
Radiant's
2,600
middle
gold.
tower is under
He
attack.
already got 2,900 gold on Chessie. What is his next item going to be? As there we go, Z-Freak picking up that mech, and it's a full mech that's going to be flying in on the courier. But I hinted to that in the draft that probably going to see
Radiant's
him pick
bottom
that
tower
up
has fallen.
on the Lich, as the bottom tier 2 tower now goes down, as compLexity continue to get so much gold, as we'll quickly bring up our
Radiant's
gold graph,
bottom
and you can
tower
see
is
it
under
was
attack.
Shazam a little bit early, but as we got towards the end of the laning phase, compLexity managed to bring it back, and then it's been all complexity from here on out. As we're nearing 12,000 gold lead for complexity. XP's also passed the 10k mark. As now the mid tier 2 and the final tier 2 for Shazam is in trouble.
Is under attack.
And it doesn't look like they're willing to contest, as they've got a couple heroes sitting up here on their high ground. But Brack's still down in the bottom lane. Doesn't look like he's going to be coming. And on top of that, we've got the Lone Druid still farming in the dire side jungle. Now up to 3,300 gold. And look at this rotation from complexity. They're all going to start making their way up towards the top lane. They want to catch out this Lone Druid. They're not going to be able to. Sunstrike's actually going to be perfectly accurate, but the Lone Druid was TPing away. It will at least give them vision that the Lone Druid did TP and they don't have to go hunting for him. HFN, has he completed his Yule Scepter? Yep, he's also added on a medallion. As Brax, we saw him very close to completing the Force Staff quite some time ago. But now only actually completing it, as he's been really set back. He's at 69 CS, and look at how far down the net worth he is. He's the 4th lowest CS. He's actually been passed by Hanskin on this Ancient Apparition, who he's making a fool out of me. He's gone for the Arcanes after the Urn, but then he didn't go for the Midas or rush the Aghanim Scepter. He's gone for a Rod of Atos. So now he's going to toss an Ice Blast to the mid lane as they're going to try to engage here on HFN, who will save himself with that Yule Scepter. Still gets affected by the Ice Blast and will shatter as Zephyr gets some damage in there. We'll see the Death Ward go down by SVG, but it's mainly just to stop complexity from keep going forward and make them back away. But now will complexity try to take the high ground, knowing that that Death Prophet's going to be dead for another 30 seconds and there's no Death Ward up on Shazam. They're going to find Brax as they've disabled his blink. He's going to Force Staff himself, but his hero just turned, so it's actually going to Force Staff himself back into the lane. As Chessie, he spends his gold, he picks up an Aghanim Scepter. This bear. 3,900 gold, so he's got enough for the relic. He's not really in a position to go and buy it from his own secret shop. He might actually go to the complexity side secret shop. Because complexity's got a pretty strong watch over this. The Radiant side secret shop. They know that relic is going to be coming out soon, and they would love to potentially snipe a couriers. Uh-oh. Here it goes. It looks like it's starting to fly out. May not be the one for the relic. Lone Druid could easily send his bear, but we're not going to be able to see that, as they're going to once again go on HFN as Limp, Shadowblade's on in, finds the stun, and then they've got that global presence, and Limp's going to find another. I thought he was dead for sure there, but he manages to get the kill onto SVG before he goes down. They do lose their core Ventral Spirit, but definitely for a kill on a Death Prophet and a support, I think complexity will take that. Show fight recap's actually going to end up in more gold going the way of Shazam. But that's 2 heroes that are now dead on the side of Shazam, which further allows complexity to keep control of this map, and that's going to really hurt the amount of gold and the farm coming up from Shazam before those heroes respawn, although we are still early in this game, so those heroes are already respawned. And Roche is also respawned, and he's quickly going to fall again. As Swindle Melons, that amp damage allows him to do so much on top of that. He's picked up a BKB, so he's ready to fight in the next engagement. Hanskin now has picked up a point booster, so starting to work towards that Aghanim Scepter. Z-Freaks also picked up a gem, so that's going to help them with the dewarding. And as I point out the gem from complexity, Brax also picks up a gem for Shazam. So we got a gem on either side, as Brax actually going to run right into Chessie and into Swindle Melons, who will jump in, pop that fresh BKB, get a double crush off, and he's going to start focusing down that Death Prophet immediately. That Aegis is going to get used. As we're going to have a swap from Limp, as now their focus target's going to be on Bless. There is a Radiance that has been completed by the Bear, as it's burning down some of these heroes from complexity, but the Lone Druid and the Bear go down, as they're going to find another kill there on HFN. the Death Prophet goes down, and Brax and SVG, they're the only ones left to defend for Shazam. As compLexity actually won't keep pushing up onto the high ground for the tier 3 because their creep wave's all the way back at their tier 2, which is actually quite low. In fact, it's in deny range. As compLexity, they unfortunately won't be able to push uphill on the back of that fight. But once again, they'll go back to taking control of the map. And Z-Freak, he was able to see that sentry ward. But he did place an observer ward outside the vision, and choosing not to get rid of that sentry ward, and he didn't have to really. The sentry ward wasn't really going to give them much information, as they know it's there, and by him destroying it, they actually would have known that the position of some of these heroes from compLexity. As we switch over to Shazam's vision on the map, and outside of this observer ward, they don't have vision anywhere. As they've got their creep wave pushing out in the mid, and beyond that, you've got the bear occasionally stepping up above the ramp in the bottom lane, but they can't see a damn thing. We have no idea where compLexity is, whereas we switch to compLexity, and we actually don't know where Shazam is, but we know that they're pretty much not too far out on the map unless they're smoked up, which, notice, compLexity kind of sticking together as they're doing some ancients here, maybe a little bit wary of a potential smoke gank. As we switch back to all our vision so we can see both sides and we're not caught out or surprised. As we've got a Vlad's picked up by the Slaughdar still, waiting on that next item picked up from Handskin as he's still working towards that Aghanim Scepter. It's going to take him a little bit to get there. Chessie has just finished a BKB, so it's going to be flying in on the Courier as well as the BKB for Limp. That's a lot of BKBs. As compLexity, they're ready to fight, and they're ready to fight now. If they're looking to go on the offensive here, maybe even look towards pushing the bottom lane, or even rotating towards mid. I don't know, it's hard to read right now as they're still just killing creep waves. Both lanes are primed to push. But if compLexity can get a good engage here and get some good pickoffs, they're going to be looking good at taking a set of racks. We don't have any buybacks up on Shazam. In fact, only the Lich on compLexity has buyback. Is compLexity? No, they're still just moving around outside. They recognize the fact that Shazam took control over this top area of the map for a brief moment. As compLexity backed, and then they're going to go and do some more counter warding further, cutting down that vision. Doing a good job of making use of that gem and making sure that Shazam has absolutely no vision whatsoever. We haven't actually seen Shazam make quite as good use of their gem, but of course they're scared. They can't really move outside their base, so they can't really cut down some of that vision. They did manage to get that observer ward in the mid, but that's very close to home, so we expect that. They're so scared. Brax even scared to go for that camp, and rightfully so. We've got a bunch of heroes from compLexity in the mid lane, and even Limp. Once again, Shadow Bladed, he's hunting, he's looking. He's got Ralph the Alpha Wolf trailing, giving them the aura if they choose to fight. There's Brax going to pop the Fireflies. He's going to try to engage here. He's going to find Chessie, but Limp is quick to get that swap back onto Chessie. As now they toss MSS up in the air. As Limp pops his BKB, his focus target's going to be SVG. And with one more auto attack, he will find it. MSS is also going to go down as Swindles jumps onto Blessed. As Limp is also the focus target for Shazam. Chain Frost going to bounce around. It's going to fizzle now. As HFN's going to go down on the right side of our screen, and Brax goes down front and center as he drops the gem on the ground. Z-Freak's going to drop his TP. He's now got 2 eyes, 2 gems. You can see everything. You can see the double invis. You can see the Ricky with the invis.
Radiant's middle tower is under
joking,
attack.
Of course. But with that compLexity, take a 4-for-0 fight. 3,000 gold advantage for them, but more importantly, they get the mid-tier 3 and mid set of racks. Now they're going to get the bottom tier 3 as well. They have 3 heroes alive now for Shazam, but it's another 20 seconds before the Death Prophet and the Bat were going to be respawning, but good game's going to get called. The Shazam taps out 33 minutes in. compLexity takes a lead in this series
Victory.
as they take game 1 of this best of 3. I want to remind you guys that this is indeed a best of 3, and the winner of this best of 3 will advance to, I guess, the losers bracket finals, where they'll play up against Digital Chaos in another best of 3, and the winner of that best of 3 moves on to go to Shanghai to play in the major and represent the Americas region. And we'll get one step closer to seeing potentially who could be that team if compLexity takes the next game, or if Shazam will be able to even up the score and even it up 1-1 in game 2, as that'll be coming up in just a few minutes. Once again, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I was Niz, and we will have that game 2 very shortly, so don't go anywhere, as I'm excited and I hope you are too.